Hey there, this is Leslie. I am planting tomatoes today, so I thought I would show everybody how I do it so that I'm set up for a system where I can trellis my tomatoes as they grow. So I've been planting today. You can see here's my bed, and here's the next plant that I'll be planting. When I plant tomatoes, I space them at 18 inches apart. So I've got this tape measure here where I'm actually measuring pretty precisely down my bed, and then I plant them in a straight row as I go. You can see this tomato plant here is sitting pretty deep in the hole, and what I'm going to do is when I plant it, I'm going to bury it for sure above this cotyledon point right here, but then even I just broke off a branch here, and I'm going to actually bury that one as well. So planting them pretty deep, you can see these here just have a few leaves sticking up above the ground. What that does is those nodes that are buried are spots that will encourage further root development, so the plant has a stronger, broader, more vigorous root system. The reason I plant in this straight row is I use these T-posts. Here's a 6-foot T-post here. They don't need them just yet, but I'll put one in every 3 plants and use that as support to use like jute twine or baling twine to weave around the tomatoes and help hold them upright as they grow. The other thing I'm doing is you can see here's some eggshell that is in the hole with the tomato. If any of you listen to You Bet Your Garden with Mike McGrath, it's a show on public radio. This is something he recommends to add calcium for the plants. There's a disease called blossom end rot that tomatoes can get if they don't have enough calcium. So depending on your soil, that might be something to try. It's not actually something I've done before, but trying it this year. And then you can see that I dug these holes pretty big too. I actually used a shovel and dug out quite a bit, and that helps me plant them deeply like I was showing with this one, but also gives them loose soil around them. And the other piece that I do that I've talked about before is the semi-permanent raised bed. So here you can see I've dug out a pathway that then gave me more loose soil on the top of the bed. As you think about when to plant your tomatoes, one thing to think about is what are the low temperatures during nighttime. Tomatoes don't really like it if lows are going below the low 50s or so. So take a look at the forecast and try not to set them out until after those lows have passed into the low 50s or above. The other thing that is really important when you are transplanting is to consider your soil moisture level. You'd like your soil moisture ideally to be about 85%. What that looks like is that when you squeeze soil, that it forms this loose clod where it's moist enough to congeal, but also not so wet that it just sticks in a ball, but it actually kind of forms these nice loose crumbles. So that's an indicator of having good soil moisture when you are transplanting. Of course, you still want to also, as you transplant, come back and water specifically around these roots. You really want to settle in the soil around the plants and encourage good root to soil contact, and your watering as you go will help with that effort.